Welcome, my friends. I want to take a moment to just welcome anybody who has not been here before and to welcome all my friends that I love seeing every week. So thank you so much for connecting. I think it's so valuable for us to be using our attention to connect and to be with others and to celebrate our ability to presence, connect, and play. It occurred to me today that I wanted to give you the basis for a practice. So, a loop of awareness practice that you can use. I was brushing my teeth this morning and I thought, we should have a loop of awareness practice that's just really easy. You can add to it, but the basic that makes the most difference for me is what I want to share with you today. So I'd like you to let yourself simply shift your attention. So shifting it outward, and then shifting it inward. And then there's a whole bunch of how are you doing that? So where is the attention coming from? So usually when we say pay attention or give your attention to, it's usually visual. So as you're shifting, I'd like you to notice, where are you attending from? And that would be a great one to just notice, I usually start with my eyes. So during your practice, I'd love to have you shift from eyes to heart to belly. So let yourself just try that on. So you're probably used to shifting outward and then inward with your eyes. And now let yourself shift down to your heart. You might do a couple of love scoops to just give a little extra to your heart. What would it be like to let your heart open outward and then let your heart open inward? When I had my heart open inward, it felt like a little cascade of marbles going blah, 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 blah. So just notice the impact of your choice of how to shift your attention. So do a couple of times of opening your heart outward and then opening your heart inward. And then, of course, there's noticing the pace at which you do that. I always find it useful for me to use my hands. My hands help me to focus. So if I'm opening my heart outward, I love to, you can invent your way of doing that. And when I open my heart inward, touch really allows me to bring my consciousness to where I'm touching. And that's an aspect of attention that most people don't realize is so powerful. If I'm bringing my attention to where I'm touching, I'm attending from the inside and the outside at the same time. So just try that on for a moment, of having your hands over your heart, letting yourself attend inward and giving attention to where you're touching. So you're noticing your hands from the inside and you're noticing your heart from the outside. And just be with that for a moment and notice if that nourishes you. This nourishes me to do this. And so I have this as part of my practice when I'm actually giving attention to practicing. So we have attention out, we have attention in. We have attention coming from visual, which is the usual, to heart, to belly. So what would it be like now to drop your attention down into your belly, which for most people is the fear center, and letting your attention come outward from your belly. So I'm going to stand up for a moment. Also, so you can see my cool outfit today. I have on a twirly skirt. And so my belly, when I give my attention to my belly, we'll do the same thing we did with heart. is put your hands on your belly, let your attention go to your belly, and then also let your attention go from your hands to your belly and from your belly to your hands. And just notice that connection. So for me, when I do that, I can feel my settling even more down into myself. Ah, any little fear twitches, I can feel those smoothing out. So that in itself could be a whole practice, just going in that direction. So give yourself a moment to notice if that's nourishing for you, because if it's nourishing, you're much more likely to practice. And if you have all of these different ways of connecting, even if you forget one of them, you're going to get an overall sense of connecting with you that you can build your practice on. So the out and the in, we usually make those linear. I want to invite you to go out short distance around you and in just under your skin. In fact, out short distance and in, a very easy practice is, I mean, easy for me to remember, so I'll say it's easy for me, is I go out short and then I come back to notice a body sensation. So giving my attention to a body sensation. So when you go out just around you, because usually we skip over what's right next to us. So if you go out just kind of around you in your reach space, just noticing what's out and around you, either from your head, your heart, or your belly, and then bring your attention to a body sensation. And we can do the same thing with the body sensation, is noticing the body sensation from the outside. You could even touch if it's convenient to do that. And then also noticing your hand touching and those sensations from the inside. So we're bringing this connection between what we think of as outside of us and inside of us. We're connecting those. So out, giving your attention out, and then kind of at a mid distance from you. So that visually it might be sort of you could easily see that without having to move in any way to get more into the distance. So kind of a middle distance. And then when you bring your attention back to you, let yourself notice your breath. So body sensations and breath are a wonderful way for you to come home to you with your attention and just noticing how it is. Just how is it without needing to make anything different? Just that, So that's another thing I add to my practice, is either out loud or inside myself. I add a because that adds wonder rather than what's wrong now. So adding a to letting your attention go out. Oh, I got some nice warm, kind of streamy feelings through my arms with that one. And then coming back in and noticing either another body sensation or noticing your breath. So for me, those are the two most fundamental, easiest ways to really notice myself rather than thinking about noticing myself. And then let your attention go way out, even maybe beyond where you could actually see. So letting your attention go out, maybe to someone that you're thinking of. One of my friends has COVID, so I'm letting my attention go all the way to her on the other side of the country. And letting it land, that and then bringing your attention back to you. If you notice a body sensation, one of the things I notice is that a body sensation will often lead me to another body sensation. So if that happens, one of the things that can occur with loop of awareness is you start actually looping in other experiences, and then you kind of start weaving. Having crocheted and having knitted, you can pick up more loops to add to that, the weave of your own presence and your feeling of richness. So we have in and out. I'm sending a out to the whole US to find some equilibrium between now and tomorrow. And back to, where is your body calling you? So a whole other way of looking at body sensations is, where is your body calling you? So I got my calves just suddenly said, hey, attention, please. And so I'm actually drawn to kind of squeeze my calves. They're going, oh, thank you. So who knows, when you listen and presence and your body will speak to you, and your body will say, okay, this is good, but now over here. It's just like my cats when they're asking for attention. We might start in one place, but then they roll over. It's like, no, a little more here, a little more here. And I'm willing to give that to them. But are we willing to give that same kind of attention to ourselves? Or got to get back to work, got to get back to doing stuff. So the practice is to fill your reservoir with presence so that you can connect and that you can create new kinds of play rather than recycled stuff. So I'm going to just go through that and have you see which parts of those speak to you the most, because you can design your own practice. I highly encourage you to have a practice. You could write it down for yourself so that you have your basic outline. So for me, the first part is just simply shifting my attention. And when I do that, I often realize that I've been going way fast. So I'm not actually really shifting my attention. I'm just kind of stirring things. So when you actually shift your attention and you land, there's that kind of buoyancy. I kind of think of my little mini trampoline, which gives me that sense of gentle movement. So your loop of awareness, shifting your attention, what's the most delicious pace for you? It's probably going to be slower than what you've been doing. So if you only did that, if you shifted your attention and you slowed down, that would give you expanded presence for your day. And it's also a very quick thing you could do in the middle of a meeting. You could do in a transition. You could do just before you're going into something that you know is challenging. When you shift your attention, you take advantage of all of these resources that are around us, including the attention of other people. That kind of attention is always available for us. We're just usually keeping ourselves cut off from it. So the other thing I want to invite you into is, on your noticing body sensations and noticing breath, going from head to heart to belly, are you willing to receive? So just take another trip inward and notice, are you receiving your own attention? Beautiful. So I invite you to play with this recipe during the week, and I'm going to pull up our Present Connect play for today. I'm tapping for a new combo. All right, so what comes up for presence is fear melters. So we could do our own version of fear melters. So I always like to start with ooze. So this time I'm going to start with root. So do a little pattern interrupt with your fear melters, but you probably always do it the same way. So I'm going to root. And since we've been getting some sprinkles and we're supposed to get rain tomorrow, I'm going to let that nourishment from the earth come up through me and filling any of the creaky, dry places. So from rooting, I'm going to let rooting go into oozing and love scoop. So I'm feeling those big roots wrapping around me. And in little places, like from my little neck surgery last week, I'm going to wiggle a little. If you got any little gritchy places, those are great places to wiggle, because we often kind of force them to, get in shape. But if you let yourself simply wiggle, and remember 2 minutes when you're practicing at home, 2 minutes to actually change your state. So if you're doing fear melters, the other thing you can do is tiny little fear melters. So you can do your jaw is a great place. Face is a great place to do fear melters. So you can do wiggling and oozing and scooping. All with your face. And then second place is hands and arms, because we carry so much tension there. So you could be doing, like I'm doing, little love scoops under the table. You can't even see me doing that. And I'm doing little wiggling. So you can do mini. I'm wiggling my toes. Wiggling toes is a great way to refresh your whole body. So you can do love scoops and fear melters in all kinds of different ways. Oh, connect. Choose to see others as allies on your team. I consider that the most powerful intention when I'm in any place with others, is choosing to see others as allies. And that can be very challenging. So I invite you, as you're practicing this, to choose others as allies first in your circle of connection, where you know that people love you. Even when you know people love you, you can sometimes see them as your enemies and blame them and get into the triangle. So I would start with choosing to see someone in your close circle that you maybe been having some britches with. Choose right now to see them as your ally. I like to let fear melters support me in that, because I can get really dug in. I have a real fighter in my jaw, and it kind of locks down, like, you did a bad thing and I'm not ever going to forgive you. So I like to play with choosing to see others as my allies while doing fear melters. And then, plays to turn words into sound. Ooh, that's a new one to me. Turn words into sound. So what's a word that you use a lot, or a series of words that you use a lot? Just play with some of the words that, for me, it used to be so. I would start something with so. And so take a word and just turn it into a sound. So we could start with some blame ones too, because people often go, why did you? So turn why did you into sound. Beautiful. And let your whole body play with that. This is often what we recommend, especially for partners. If you're getting into a hassle, is turn those words into sounds, because words are condensed, can be really condensed weapons. And if we turn them into yeah, they can become a connector and play. So those are some Presence Connect play cues that you can play with this week. And particularly over this next week, I really encourage you to ground yourself in your practice, because we may be on a wild ride, those of us in the US, that affects everybody else in the world. fortunately or unfortunately. So thank you so much for being here. Much love to you all. And until next time, I'm going to take my leave, and you're just welcome to continue PCPing. Okay, bye now.
Bye, Katie. Thank you.